Mike Sullivan. He's going to Broadway, baby.
Yeah, and not really much shock there, but this was one of those ones. I mean, there's never any tampering in the NHL. Let me say that. But this is one of those ones that once the New York Rangers had an opening and once the Pittsburgh Penguins made their decision, that this was a fait accompli. I mean, the Rangers didn't look anywhere else. They didn't interview anyone else. And by nature of this, Mike Sullivan becomes the highest paid coach in NHL history on an average annual basis. And the reason for that is he was already the second highest paid coach in the league. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are sitting there going, well, we're going to be offsetting this because we owe him this money, but you can't just not pay him to have him be the head coach of a division rival. So yes, he is the new highest paid coach in the league. Yes, it is a new high watermark. And yes, it's a very impressive salary for NHL standards, but it was by necessity.
Yeah. So Paul Paduti, I thought, had a really interesting tweet about this the other day. But these next few years will actually go a very long way in deciding Mike Sullivan's Hockey Hall of Fame case, right? He won those 2 Stanley Cups in basically his first year and a half with the Pittsburgh Penguins, but never went deeper than the second round after that. And I say all that, I guess my question to you will be, is Mike Sullivan the right guy? And is this a good fit for there to be success in New York?
I think so, but I need to see what the roster looks like before I can give you a true definitive answer. I mean, a coach is only ever as good as his players. So the Rangers need some serious surgery on their back end. They have to find a way to defend better in front of Igor Shesterkin, but he's unquestionably one of the best coaches in the league. He did a great job at Four Nations Faceoff. And now moving forward, I think the Rangers have a really good coach. Let's see what roster he's handed.
Yeah, and I would expect GM Chris Drury with that new extension under his belt will probably be pretty aggressive this offseason.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, when you talk about fit, there's a relationship there, right? Mike Sullivan, if you think back to the end of Chris Drury's career, was the assistant coach under John Tortorella. So they did work together, and that's, relationship has only been enhanced over the years when you work together at something like Four Nations. So I think one of the big reasons why Mike Sullivan didn't kind of move on from the Penguins last year, not only was Kyle Dubas still kind of getting his feet wet, but this opening wasn't there. This decision to part ways is, I think, in lockstep with each other. They're not unrelated.
Mm-hmm. Another piece of coaching news from today, Julian Breezeball confirming John Cooper will return behind the bench for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Frank, maybe to put a bow on this, is there another team out there who's maybe trying to figure out things from a coaching perspective and get things done sooner rather than later?
Yeah, I think that's the Anaheim Ducks. I think they've completed a handful of interviews, maybe more. They're moving on to round 2 soon. And when you look at this list of candidates, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of teams today are sad that John Cooper is not going to be available and joining this mix, but Rick Tocchet is the guy that stands out as the shot caller. He's going to have multiple options. He's going to be able to pick where he wants to go. Next up, you've got this group of experienced guys that have gotten multiple chances before, except for Jay Woodcroft. He's only had one, but he's going to get one this cycle because there's so many openings. There's now 7 official, but we're still waiting on what happens with the LA Kings, because I don't think Jim Hiller is going to live down his decision-making process and structure through this playoffs. And 2 would be the New York Islanders and what happens with their GM search and Patrick Waugh. So the potential for 9 openings now left, which would be quite something because there's a ton of guys here and this list looks outrageous. I'm sure if you're sitting at home watching on YouTube, but there has to be a pretty long list of candidates if you've got that many jobs to fill.
I would list off all the names for the podcast listeners, but we simply don't have enough time. But the coaching news, I should say we can expect probably more coaching news here as we head throughout the weekend. It is that time of year.
What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Seravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.